Never leave your daughter with a bass player. Welcome to Blend and Vanished, where makeup meets missing persons. Hi, I'm your host, Sammy C, and while I'm blending out my makeup, I'll be blending in the facts of some of the strangest, most unsettling missing person cases that you've probably never heard of, and maybe a few you wish you hadn't. Every case I cover does have one thing in common. Something doesn't add up. Whether it's odd behavior or eerie coincidences, we're getting into it all. No fluff, no filler, just me, my makeup, and some stories that might keep you up at night. So grab your mirror or just sit back and watch, because it's time to get weird while we get ready. This is Blend and Vanished. I have got a highly requested episode for you today. I'm diving into a case that is full of all kinds of weird details and gives me full body chills. It's about a young woman who vanished while on a cruise ship. I know. It's giving open water nightmare. So grab your brushes, grab your makeup, and let's blend out while we talk about Amy Lynn Bradley. She was a 23-year-old from Virginia, bright, athletic, full of life. She'd actually just graduated from college at Longwood University and was gearing up for a new chapter in her life. Y'all remember what that's like? New, fun, exciting 23. Take me back. In March of 1998, her and her family, Ron and Iva, and her younger brother, Brad. Yes, let's go ahead and get it out of the way. His name is Brad Bradley, which I'm sure is short for Bradley Bradley. Full body chills. They set off for a vacation, a nice cruise on the Rhapsody of the Sea to celebrate her graduation. They left Puerto Rico March 21st and had planned to stop in Aruba, Caruca, and St. Thomas. It was supposed to be a dream vacation, but it turned out to be a nightmare. On the night of March 23rd, the ship had docked in Caruca. Amy and Brad went to the ship's club where they had a live band called Blue Orchid. And she was seen dancing and having drinks with one of the band members named Alistair Yellow Douglas. I don't know about y'all, but I don't trust anybody named Yellow. Maybe that's just me. There's even footage of Amy that night dancing and talking to Yellow at the club. Witness said she seemed to be happy and relaxed. But sometime after 1 a.m., her and Brad returned to their cabin. She was a smoker. It was the 90s. Her and Brad hung out on the balcony for a while, smoking and talking, and finally, Brad said about 3 o'clock. He got tired and said he was headed in. Amy wasn't quite ready for bed, though, yet, so she hung out on the balcony. At 5 o'clock, Ron, her dad, said he kind of woke up and saw her feet. She was laying on the chair there. He went back to sleep. At 5:30, he woke up and Amy was nowhere to be found. That was the last confirmed sighting of Amy Bradley. Amy went missing, but her shoes were still there. Her ID, her cigarettes, her lighter, everything was left behind except for Amy. They searched the ship frantically, went up and down every aisle, every hallway. The crew insisted, she probably fell overboard. Okay, she's a trained lifeguard. I think she's gonna not fall overboard. Her family didn't buy it for a second. Plus, there was no splash, no commotion, no body. You know what's even stranger? This is wild, y'all. When her family begged the cruise ship director to make an announcement to all passengers before they docked, the crew refused, saying it would disturb the guests. You know what would disturb me if I was a guest on this. If a girl went missing, here's where it gets really weird. Over the years, there have been multiple sightings of Amy. Okay, and I'm not talking about the ghost of Amy. I'm not talking about on the Rhapsody. I'm talking about alive. That would creep me out. Would totally creep me out. In 1998, a Canadian man saw a woman that matched her description on the beach. And she didn't just look like Amy. She actually had the exact same tattoos as Amy. How many people have a Tasmanian devil tattoo? Just asking. Just asking. She even told him, "My name is Amy." But she was with two men and she looked pretty terrified. In 1999, Navy petty officer actually said he saw her in a brothel in Barbados. She begged him for help and said she was being held against her will. But of course, he didn't report it right away because he didn't want to get in trouble for being in the wrong part of town. Y'all, that makes me so mad. That makes me so mad. He didn't want to get in trouble, but this poor girl is at a brothel being held against her will. Oh, that makes me so mad. In 2005, a woman in a Caribbean department store bathroom said that she ran into Amy. She whispered to her, "Help me. My name is Amy." This is wild. This is wild. This is wild. Every sighting seems to have a dead end. So what really happened to Amy Bradley? Your guess is as good as mine, but there are some pretty prominent theories. The number one theory that everybody tends to go with is human trafficking. That she was either smuggled off the ship or maybe tricked into going off the ship. Unfortunately, cruise ships have unregulated workers and undertrained security. She could have been drugged, lured, or forced off the ship. Did she leave on her own reconnaissance? Who knows? It seems pretty unlikely. She had just landed a new job. She had an apartment. She was excited about her life. Why would she just disappear on her own? She left her passport. She left her things. She was super close to her family. It doesn't make sense. Was it foul play by the crew? Maybe the band members? Maybe both? I'm thinking it was the cruise director. I'm thinking maybe Yellow had something to do with it. I don't trust a man named Yellow. That's all I'm saying. She was last seen dancing with Yellow, a crew member. And she had even told her parents that some of the crew members were making her feel uncomfortable. There was a ton of attention on Amy Bradley. And of course, the one that I don't believe is that she actually just fell overboard. Even though that's the cruise line's official stance, I don't necessarily believe it. These were shark-infested waters. And in fact, one of the guys from Aruba that went out and was over the search, he even said, "Sharks don't eat everything." There would have been an arm, a leg. That sounds so gruesome, but it's true. He knew the waters backwards and forwards. There was a current. Something would have come up. This story just doesn't sit right with me. Something is going on, and I want to know what. Over the years, the family continues to remember Amy Bradley. They continue to update their websites and social medias, even though there were no social medias whenever Amy Bradley went missing, in hopes that maybe Amy's out there, that Amy will see it. They've hired a private investigator. They went on TV. Y'all, they were on Dr. Phil. Okay, they went on Dr. Phil. They went on America's Most Wanted. They've been on Unsolved Mysteries. In 2005, they received an email of a photo of a woman that resembled Amy, sitting on a bed, wearing lingerie, but looking kind of dazed. The photo they found was on, in fact, a sex trafficking website. The FBI analyzed it, and although it was inconclusive, the family does hold on to hope that maybe Amy is still alive and that Amy is out there. Amy Bradley is 50 years old today. It just goes to show you that even when you're surrounded by people, even on a cruise ship full of cameras, you can vanish without a trace. If you know anything about Amy's disappearance, please call the FBI office. Her family deserves to have answers. If you enjoyed today's cases, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along for more cases. Also, give me some comments of what are your theories and if you have suggestions for my next episode. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe.